But we're looking forward to the next game. Coming up, we got Windy City versus St. Louis. And joining me is Yvette Yermaker, a veteran for the Windy City Rollers. Windy City's coming in as the 1 seed. Can you tell me a little bit about how that feels coming in as a defending regional champion?
Well, there's so much huge competition every time. I think that it's still the same idea of coming in, keeping your intensity up, and just doing your best every time. It's exciting, and I'm hoping that we get to continue throughout the weekends.
Now, you're a core member of the Windy City Rollers. You've been around for years, but you missed 2010 with a knee injury, and you come back this year. Again, you've been a solid force with the team. Can you talk a little bit about that, the recovery coming back this year?
It was a long-ass year off, and there was a lot of work to come back. But, I came back, and I love my teammates, and it was a pretty good, I was able to transition in because I stayed active with the Windy City Rollers throughout my time off. So that was smooth, and yeah, I just love the girls, so we're good.
Thank you very much, Yvette Yermaker.
All right, folks, we are back at the North Central Region Playoffs, brought to you by the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. My name's Dump Truck.
I'm Bryant Mumble.
And this broadcast is brought to you in part by Dr. Hauschka. Dr. Hauschka, the WFTDA's official bruise healer. Lose the bruise with Dr. Hauschka's Ouchain. And Elemental Technologies, the world's most powerful video processing solutions. Adam Wheels, the official wheel of the WFTDA. Rydell Skates, proud partner and the official skate of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association.
We're about to see a matchup between the Windy City Roller All-Stars, the 1 seed, and the arch rival Roller Girls, the 8 seed, coming off a victory today against the Chicago outfit. The Windy City Roller All-Stars are Jackie Daniels, Old Dirty Go-Go, Tori Adore, Who's Your Mama, Wreckin' True, Varla Vendetta, Athena to Crime, Carmageddon, Sargentina, Georgia on Your Behind, Sunshine and Painbows, Bork, Bethamphetamine, and Yvette Yermaker.
For the arch rival Roller Girls, it's going to be Party Foul, Downtown Dallas, Chewbacca, Smarty McFly, Stabby McCutcha, Science Friction, South City Shiner, May Require Stitches, Shimmy Hoffa, Mayor Francis Slayer, Black Market Baby, Art of Mischief, Eli Wallop, and Mighty Mighty Boston.
So it looks like we're about ready to go. Our first jam is going to have Jackie Daniels up against Downtown Dallas.
That is going to be Downtown Dallas now for the folks at home. It is pink for arch rival, black for Windy City. Windy City seated number 1 here in the North Central region, I believe for the 3rd time in a row.
It is the 3rd time in a row they have been the 1 seed, and I have to say it, they have never lost to a team from the North region before. I believe the streak is at 21 or 22. I think 21 right now.
Is that what they call dominating?
This particular region, yes.
All right, the first jam is underway. Downtown Dallas tries to go to the outside, but it looks like Jackie Daniels is going to make it happen. Picks up lead jammer status early in the jam.
But Downtown Dallas is going to keep the pressure on. She's right on her tail. Jackie Daniels is going to try and get past one blocker. There's one blocker out of bounds. She hits it, and she quits it. 1 point for Jackie Daniels, drawing first blood for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
That's right. It's 1-0 Windy City ahead right now. Make sure you look for Trigger in the crowd if you're going to end up going to championships in Denver, Colorado. She's with Roller Girl Skates, and you can sign up for a free set of wheels. And if you're not going to make it out, go to rollergirlskates.com.
As we line them up again, we're going to see Athena to Crime on the outside in the black for the Windy City Rollers. And I believe that's Black Market Baby for St. Louis out there.
It is. You're going to see arch rival go in a primary 3-jammer rotation. It's going to be Black Market Baby, Downtown Dallas, and it is also
the Mighty Mighty Boston, I believe.
That is correct, sir.
Yes.
You're the wind beneath my wings.
So we are on the jam right now, and it looks like Black Market Baby's getting near the front, but Athena to Crime gets near the front, and she gets through for lead jammer status.
Yeah, she found an outside line there in turn 3, took advantage of it, was already going at the proper speed, was able to sneak right on by, and she's not far from starting to pick up her first points there, Mumbles.
But we look back at the pack. Who's Your Mama and Georgia on Your Behind holding that front line, keeping St. Louis's jammer in the pack as Athena to Crime now hits the pack on her scoring pass.
You're going to see Who's Your Mama and Georgia on Your Behind teamed up quite a bit today. They are a dynamic duo that are very, very familiar with how each other skate.
And that's going to end the jam there. Another 3 points, I do believe, for the Windy City Rollers.
Did you know that Fast Girl Skates is the industry pioneer in boot sizing and configuration for women's feet?
I did not know that, dump truck.
That could be because you have the feet of a man. But if you do have the feet of a woman, go to Fast Girl Skates. If you happen to be in the Seattle area, stop by their shop. If not, I guarantee you they're at fastgirlskates.com.
I'm going to work on that, getting the women feet. I'm going to work on that. As we line up again, we have Varla Vendetta on the line for Windy City.
And it's going to be Mighty Mighty Boston for the arch rival Roller Girls.
And we're starting in a somewhat slow-paced pack right now, but the jammers are released rather quickly.
Arch rival with the front pink wall. And it looks like Windy City's kind of mixed up a bit, and they're staying focused on Mighty Mighty Boston. Varla Vendetta tries to go on the outside of turn 4, but she gets put to the outside. Pack starting to slow down a little bit there, Mumbles. Everything's starting to get a little tighter, a little more intense. Mighty Mighty Boston up at the front of the pack, trying to get by Old Dirty Go-Go.
All the blockers now sitting on the jammers. You got the 3-wall up front for Windy City. And we got a 3-wall at the back, and it's going to be a major penalty for that block.
Smarty McFly there at the
may require
infield.
stitches.
Smarty McFly trying to tie those boot laces up so she can get back in the action. You cannot skate with loose boots, but it looks like Mumbles. Varla Vendetta is going to be your lead jammer.
She was able to get past May Require Stitches, who now is taking a trip to the sin bin, and now she's on a scoring pass here, as St. Louis still has Mighty Mighty Boston still on her initial pass. So it's a 5-point grand slam for Varla Vendetta, and she's going for more.
That outside line on the front stretch was wide open and easy for her to take advantage of.
With the entire pack on the ground, Varla Vendetta hits it, and she gets one blocker in front of her as Mighty Mighty Boston clears the pack for her initial pass.
Wow, number 75. Learn the name, ladies and gentlemen. Bork, bork, bork. Making some things happen there at the back of the pack.
This her rookie season with the Windy City Roller All-Stars. She will be around for a long time, we hope, as Varla Vendetta calls it off. 4 more points for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
She is one of those blockers that you love to watch at any given opportunity. And you know what? At any given opportunity, I like to drink Sun King. Handcrafted award-winning beer brewed in Indianapolis. Did you know that's where we are right now?
Indianapolis? I arrived here in the dark. I didn't know where I was. It was dark out.
Did you get here in the trunk of a car? What happened?
No, it was just dark. I was asleep. Stop bothering me. It was 1 in the morning.
That happens, you know. Well, it happens to me. I don't know if it really ever happens.
We're underway again. We've got Beth Amphetamine jamming for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
And South City Shiner for arch rival Roller Girls.
I have to be careful saying that name as Beth Amphetamine gets through for lead jammer status for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
She was booking it on the outside. The outside line seems to be a territory that Windy City is quite familiar with, as they've been able to exploit it at will.
Who's Your Mama trying to hold that front line? May Francis Slayer trying to create a hole for her jammer.
South City Shiner still trying to get through the pack, but looks like she's met there by Tori Adore, who slows her down, but now she's at the front, tries to get some help there from Chublaka, and now she's out of the pack on her initial pass, Mumbles.
Now Beth Amphetamine on a scoring pass. 4-on-2 in the pack. Beth Amphetamine having a hard time. She gets taken up by Chublaka for arch rival.
Beth Amphetamine watching the opposing jammer, milk on the clock for a few extra seconds, calls off the jam.
So with that, Windy City takes a 15-0 lead just about 6 minutes into this first half of play between the Windy City Roller All-Stars and the arch rival Roller Girls.
Flat Track Revolution, wear your passion at flattrackrevolution.com.
We line them up again. A small pack out there for Windy City. Only 2 blockers on the track. 1 standing in the penalty box, 1 sitting. Athena de Crime is on the jam line for the team in black.
And that's going to be downtown Dallas for arch rival in pink.
Windy City kills a couple seconds off the clock to get Yvette Yermaker back onto the track. And now the jam is underway in earnest. Athena de Crime able to get through. She is your lead jammer for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
Athena de Crime plus Jackie Daniels usually equals a fantastic combination. Jackie staying by her side, protecting her jammer. Downtown Dallas now trying to get out of the front of the pack. It looks like Mike Needs Stitches is up there as her assistant. And Old Dirty Go-Go is going to try and go for a hit to slow things down. And she's able to do so, but Downtown Dallas does not give up as she finally gets through on her initial pass.
So we watch that pack reform as Athena de Crime has scored 5 points so far. St. Louis trying to get their blockers up front. Windy City trying to grab a goat. They're able to grab one. Athena de Crime passes that blocker, gets 1 point for the blocker and 1 ghost point for that skater that's out of play in the penalty box.
That last jam, 7 points for the Windy City Roller All-Stars and 0 for Arch Rival. This place is full of fantastic skate shops like Derby for All. Experienced Derby skaters getting you the right gear to take you to the next level.
We just passed the 7.5 minute mark. Passed in this first half of play. We've got Varla Vendetta jamming now for Windy City. And that is Black Market Baby in pink for St. Louis.
Black Market Baby fighting for the inside line while Varla Vendetta goes around to the outside, cuts right back into the inside of turn 3, picks up lead jammer status quick and in a hurry, Mumbles.
Very quick feet, able to squeeze between Art of Mischief and Science Friction at the front of the pack to squeeze through. Now we look at the front of the pack. We see Who's Your Mama once again at that front, holding that line, holding off Black Market Baby.
And it looks like Bork's going to move up there as well. Excuse me, that's George on your behind. Number 70 up at the front of the pack.
Varla Vendetta gets through the pack on a scoring pass. She got a 5-point grand slam, says Mr. Rock.
Black Market Baby now trying to get around the back 3 wall that has now gotten a little bit separated from Windy City. I like what I'm seeing from Arch Rival. They are, for the most part, sticking together. They don't leave their jammer all by themselves. They're always looking for a way to assist, and they're also making sure that they don't go after anyone by themselves.
Team play, partnering up is a key part of many packs in roller derby.
That's how Varla Vendetta just picked up another 5 points. The Windy City Rollers are definitely playing as a team. They are one of the tightest teams in the North Central region right now. That's why they have the fantastic record of 21-0 by our guesstimation.
I had to look that up on Flat Track Stats.
Varla Vendetta gets out of the pack, and it looks like it's going to be another grand slam for the Windy City Rollers.
Windy City still holding their blocker, and Georgia on your behind, trying to hold off Black Market Baby. Now only 2 blockers in the pack for Windy City. They lost a couple blockers during this jam. St. Louis has got a couple blockers back.
Wow, Varla really put the brakes on, and she comes outside of turn 2 to stay in bounds and in control. Trying to get around Slayer, who bumped her out of bounds. Looking for a cut there. She doesn't get the cut call, which is totally, actually it looks like she does. And that's going to be the end of that jam. Windy City now with 37 points over Arch Rival 0. We've got 20 minutes and 9 seconds to go in this timeout.
Timeout called by Arch Rival. While we have a moment, let's thank Antique Boots, Reckless Wheels, and Moto Bearings, revolutionizing roller derby. We'd also like to thank Fast Girls Skates. They're Fast Girls Skates. I got to say it right. They're a sponsor.
You know, if they have steaks, I'm showing up for that too.
They are the industry pioneer in boot sizing and configuration for women's feet.
Steak.
Women's feet.
Now
What?
you
I did
got
not say
me
that.
thinking about lunch.
The best customer service in the business, period. You know who gives you that? The Sun King. Sun King Brewery, located right here in Indianapolis.
You know what? I was able to have one of those tasty, fantastic beverages, and it is totally worth talking about. That's probably how it ended up on our sponsor sheet.
We'd also like to thank Flat Track Revolution. Wear your passion, flattrackrevolution.com.
Thus far today, we've seen some very interesting gameplay. First game of the day, very, very exciting. Second game also being quite intriguing as well. And right now, we're in the middle of watching the Windy City All-Stars take on the Arch Rival Roller Girls. And Windy City now with 41 points over Arch Rival 0. So far, this is a shutout, and we're only 10 minutes into the game, Mumbles.
Well, there's still lots of clock left as we see Wreck and Shrew jamming for the first time tonight for Windy City.
And it looks like that's going to be Mighty Mighty Boston for Arch Rival in pink.
This pack moving along at a great pace right now. It's moving along very quickly. Mighty Mighty Boston trying to get past Jackie Daniels and Yvette Your Maker at the front of the pack. The pack getting spread out a little bit here.
It looks like parquet out there. It is spread all over the place. Mighty Mighty Boston trying to get by Yvette Your Maker, who just jumps right up in the air and says, "No, that inside line is mine."
Is this the jam? Arch Rival is able to get lead jammer status for the first time. Yvette Your Maker pounding on Mighty Mighty Boston. Meanwhile, in the back of the pack, Wrecking Shrew having some luck, and we have, for the first time today, arch rival with lead jammer status.
And hot on her heels is going to be Wrecking Shrew, number 24 for the Windy City Rollers, who are in black, and she is going to kill this jam. Arch rival right now needs to call off the jam. They are not in a points advantage, and the clock is not their friend even this early in the game.
And Windy City has claimed the front of the pack, going to make it even more difficult on Mighty Mighty Boston, as Wrecking Shrew, right on her tail, forces the call off. Still 0 points for arch rival.
Some smart roller derby there, Mumbles. You have Windy City, who owned the front four, and they just kept things moving, forcing the jammer in pink to chase them down, chew up that clock as long as she wants to until she decided to call off the jam.
And we will line them up once again. We've got Beth Amphetamine on the line for the Windy City Roller All-Stars, also a trapeze artist in her free time. And she is up against the South City Shiner for arch rival in pink. And the jam is underway. Both jammers released. And Beth Amphetamine's got some speed around the outside. She gets taken out just enough. Here's a chance for South City Shiner contending with Who's Your Mama, but Beth Amphetamine finds room on the inside, able to get through for lead jammer status.
Beth Amphetamine starting to get some distance between she and the pack, as the pack does start to pick up some pace, and it looks like arch rival for the first time in a while has everyone available on the track, and that's what they're going to need to be successful here.
And Windy City also has everyone on the track, so it's a full contingency, 10 skaters on the track. Beth Amphetamine now on a scoring pass.
She's going to get Shimmy Hoffa, gets right around her with a nice little smooth juke move, and picks up 5 points for the Windy City Rollers All-Stars.
And Windy City still holding in South City Shiner, but she's able to get through now as Beth Amphetamine approaches on her second scoring pass. She's already passed one blocker.
Oh, she does get tripped up there, and a low block major is being called. And now arch rival's going to start one blocker shy of a full regiment. We do want to thank Nuvo, Indy's alternative voice, the proud sponsor of the Naptown Roller Girls. If you ever make it to town and you want to know what's going on, grab that publication. It's free and it's all over the place.
In this next jam, we're going to see the 7-year veteran Varla Vendetta jamming for Windy City. And she is up against Downtown Dallas for the ladies in pink.
Jam has started, taking their time a little bit. Arch rival would not mind getting their blocker back out on the track. They're going to take their time. Windy City's going to start pushing forward, and the jam whistle is blown.
So here we go, jammers on the track. Downtown Dallas has some room. Can she get past Jackie Daniels? Yvette Your Maker's there, and go Old Dirty Go-Go with a hammer.
Old Dirty Go-Go just punching her to the inside, forcing her to be recycled to the back of the pack, and now she's going to try and use her blockers to usher her all the way to the front. But meanwhile, back in the pack, it looks like Varla Vendetta is going to make some quick work of the ladies in pink.
Now Downtown Dallas contending with Yvette Your Maker once again. And Varla Vendetta on a scoring pass here. She's got some room on the outside. Can she make the turn? She can with a whip from Old Dirty Go-Go. Another 5-point grand slam. Jackie Daniels going to the penalty box now for Windy City.
Both teams temporarily down one blocker, so it is going to be now 4-on-3 at the pack. Advantage of the pack now going to arch rival, who is in pink. Downtown Dallas looking to get through, and she does so.
She got a nice whip from May Require Stitches. And here comes Varla Vendetta on another scoring pass here. Got room on the outside. May Require Stitches, the last line of defense. Varla able to get past, calls it off. 4 more points for the Windy City Roller All-Stars, extending their lead.
Thank you to the following tournament partners: Spinland Media, Union Vacations, Protect Dent Mouth Guards, Skate Court, and Jules Doyle Photography.
Wrecking Shrew is going to take the jammer line for the second time this afternoon. I said evening earlier.
It is somewhere, just not here.
True.
That's right, Wrecking Shrew is on the line. She's going to be going against 40K Black Market Baby.
And the jam is underway a little bit. This time we started with skater blockers on their knee. I think that was the first time we've seen that in this bout, if I'm not mistaken.
You are not, sir. And it looks like Black Market Baby's going to pick up lead jammer status, as there's too much distance between she and the largest group of ladies making up the pack.
So this is the second time arch rival has gotten lead jammer status. Let's see if they get some points on the board this time.
And for those of us just checking in, pink is going to be arch rival from St. Louis, Missouri. Black is Windy City from Chicago, Illinois.
Black Market Baby racking up some points now for arch rival. One blocker to beat. She gets through the pack.
She takes on Hoosier Mama, punches her out a little bit out of the way, and picks up 5 points. These are the first points that arch rival's been able to put on the board, and they're going to get them all at one time.
And meanwhile, some nice blocking by Chewbacca, riding Reckonshrew out of bounds on the outside. Reckonshrew still trying to get through the pack, dealing with Art of Mischief at the front of the pack. And here comes Black Market Baby again on her second scoring pass of this jam.
Black Market Baby trying to get around the front three wall of Windy City Rollers defense, as now her offense starts to move up to help her out a bit. We have seen a bit of offensive blocking here in the North Central region, some we haven't seen too terribly much of thus far in the Big Five swing.
And Black Market Baby gets through. She calls off the jam. 4 more points, 9-point jam for St. Louis.
That makes it Windy City 57, 9 for arch rival. And we've got 13 minutes, 11 seconds to go in this one.
And we'll line them up again. We've got Beth Amphetamine jamming for the Windy City Roller All-Stars. She's up against Mighty Mighty Boston for the ladies in pink from St. Louis.
I was in St. Louis yesterday, actually.
What were you doing in St. Louis yesterday?
I was sitting down in a van.
Passing by, I assume.
Yep.
We are underway here. Beth Amphetamine's got room on the outside, turns on the jets, gets through. However, she's not your lead jammer. She had a back block minor by the looks of it, and a no pass, no point. So Mighty Mighty Boston still has a chance to get lead jammer status here, but Beth Amphetamine now on a scoring pass. She still can score despite not being lead jammer as she gets through the pack. Waiting for Rooster Rock to make the signal. We have a 5-point grand slam for Windy City.
Mighty Mighty Boston continues to be recycled to the back of the pack, basically forcing a power jam here. It's almost like there's only one jammer on the floor with Beth Amphetamine moving around the outside to turn 2, starts to turn it up a bit, tries to get around number 4, Mayor Francis Slayer, and she does so on the inside of the front stretch and picks him up, sets him down. That's 5 points for the Windy City Rollers.
Bork, and Yvette, your maker, holding off Mighty Mighty Boston. A toe stop comes out onto the track. Reverend Riot picks it up, and we're underway. 15 points so far for Beth Amphetamine in this jam.
I believe it's the second time she has jammed in this period, and she has been racking up the points each time she's hit the track.
Here she comes again, a 4th scoring pass here, as Mighty Mighty Boston can still get lead jammer status, and she does right there. She calls it off immediately. 1 more point, a 16-point jam for the Windy City Roller All-Stars and Beth Amphetamine.
If you think that this stream you're watching at home looks good, make sure you go ahead and upgrade to the high-quality stream. It is $20 for this playoff. Check it out. Enjoy the experience to its full potential. You're watching the North Central Region Playoff on WFTDA.com.
And also, if you're watching this game, perhaps you missed the first game that St. Louis played. It was a doozy, dump truck.
It was a fantastic game. They showed up. They played the Chicago outfit. They came away with a win. There was no question that they were the team that's supposed to be here right now. And that's compared to how they were last year at the North Central Region Playoff, coming in at, I believe, 7 and leaving at number 10. They're already starting to climb their way up a bit, and so they've got some forward momentum. Obviously, they've been working really hard since the 2010 season, and it's paying off, giving them an opportunity to play a team as skilled and as advanced as Windy City is not something that comes your way very often.
That is true in the North Central region here.
You get an opportunity to play some of those top-tier teams, and you have an opportunity to learn a lot about the advanced game of women's flat track roller derby.
We are underway. It's Athena de Crime for the Windy City Roller All-Stars in black. And she is up against the South City Shiner for St. Louis in pink.
South City Shiner didn't jam too terribly much against the outfit earlier on, but she's playing a different kind of Chicago right now. She goes to the outside, does get lead jammer status as she exits turn 2, Mumbles.
I believe that's 3 lead jammer statuses in a row for St. Louis, as Athena de Crime clears the pack as well. Going to try and keep the pressure on as Windy City claiming the front of the pack. Only 2 blockers out there, Hoosier Mama and Georgia on your behind, able to claim the front.
That last brief timeout was an equipment check after the broken skate, which is the toe stop we were talking about.
So it's 4-2 in the pack, and Athena de Crime forces the call off. She kept the pressure on, so we're going to keep the score right where it is, 73-9, as we pass 10 minutes left in the first half of play in this monumental mayhem.
It is monumental. That is a fact, sir.
You can tweet your thoughts about monumental mayhem at WFTDA Big 5. What is the hashtag? Talk to WFTDA. That's a new hashtag. Talk to WFTDA.
The word talk,
On
the
Twitter.
number 2, and the letters WFTDA. You see how that works? Downtown Dallas jamming for Arch Rival. She's at the front of the pack. Trying to get around number 17, Old Dirty Go-Go for the Windy City All-Stars.
Varla Vendetta on the jam for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
Jackie Daniels up front. The last line of defense for Windy City in this scenario, but it looks like Downtown Dallas is going to get through, and she's going to beat Lead Jammer.
That is Arch Rival's 4th lead jammer in a row. Trying to build on that. They only got points on one of those. However, they got a little something going here. Here comes Downtown Dallas approaching on a scoring pass as Varla Vendetta clears the pack on her initial pass. But once again, Windy City's got the front of the pack. St. Louis is going to try and break up that 4 wall.
Downtown Dallas now at the front of the pack. You saw this a few jams ago. Windy City making the Arch Rival jammer run as long as possible. They're going to try and wear him down. They're going to try and milk that clock. But Arch Rival is successful by picking up 4 points on that pass. You see the bench there for Arch Rival. No one's shaken, no one's stirred. There's a lot of direction going out there. Communication is key. If you're not willing to talk to your bench and talk to your fellow players, then you are not going to come out on top in any game in flat track roller derby.
And we're about to go again. It's Wreck and Shrew on the line for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
And it looks like that is going to be number 40K, Black Market Baby, for the Arch Rival Roller Girls. Wreck and Shrew at the front of the pack. Looks like she's behind the front 3 wall of pink from St. Louis. And she's joined by Georgia on your behind, who's hoping to usher her through the front. Wreck and Shrew does find an outside line, turns it up. She gets through as your lead jammer and squeaks right by. May require stitches.
Meanwhile in the pack, Bork, 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 and Georgia on your behind, pounding on Black Market Baby, slowing her down at the back of the pack.
And you see Wreck and Shrew hit the back of the pack. Finds the inside line there, and she's able to exploit that for all 5 available points on the track.
Art and Mischief for St. Louis going to the penalty box right now. Didn't see what the call was, but Black Market Baby still on our initial pass, trying something new now, takes out Bork, Bork, Bork. Now 2 blockers to beat at the front. That's Toreador and Hoosier Mama once again, as Wreck and Shrew's trying to make her way up for another scoring pass. Only 2 blockers out there for St. Louis. Wreck and Shrew able to get past him. However, she has not cleared the pack, and now she does. Another 5-point grand slam for Wreck and Shrew.
And it looks like the jammer in pink from St. Louis, Black Market Baby's going to be heading to the penalty box, and that makes this a power jam advantage. Windy City Rollers.
Wreck and Shrew's already scored a couple times here for the Windy City Roller All-Stars, and she's got time to score more. As she's in the pack once again, sizing up May require stitches. And I believe that's number 4, Mayor Francis Slayer.
May require stitches.
I was wrong on that. That was not Mayor Francis Slayer.
Mayor Francis, that is May require stitches. She was able to bump Wreck and Shrew to the infield, and she's very, very smart. The second she does that, her reaction time is very, very minimal, and she puts the brakes on, runs to the back of the pack, and says, do you want to call it, or do you want to be recycled? We can do this all over again. Wreck and Shrew called off the jam, and now we're reset and ready to go.
That is Athena de Crime, the lone jammer on the Dr. Hauschka jam line. And she is off as St. Louis claims the front of the pack. And now Jackie Daniel breaks it up very nicely.
Windy City bringing their own personal broom as Jackie Daniel sweeps everybody to the outside of turn 4, opening things up for number 30 of the Windy City Rollers.
That's Athena de Crime in her 7th season of play.
Athena de Crime gets bumped out of bounds, has to be recycled to the back of the pack. You are not allowed to re-enter the action before your opponent that knocks you out of bounds. You have to make sure you enter the track behind them.
So once again, Jackie Daniels running interference. Trying to make some room for Athena de Crime. She gets through on her scoring pass there. 5-point grand slam for Athena de Crime.
Old Dirty Go-Go now starting to put the pressure on Black Market Baby. The jammer in pink for Arch Rival is back on the track. Power Jam is over. And it looks like we have a full complement with 5-on-5.
Now Mayor Francis Slayer trying to get her jammer through, contending with Jackie Daniels at the front of the pack. Art of Mischief, the pivot for the team in pink.
Wow,
trying to help.
Jackie Daniels, excuse me, Mumbles. Jackie Daniels wants a piece of everybody. You're a blocker? Sweet. I'll smack you around. Oh, look, here comes your jammer. I've got time. Let me go find you, too. She really is a one-woman wall when she needs to be, and this is that kind of time when you want to be able to rely on your better skaters.
The Jackie Wall has been a key factor for the Windy City Roller All-Star. She was the league MVP in 2010, and we'll see what happens in 2011 as we're still playing.
Athena de Crime now in the middle of the pack, tries to go to the outside. Number 1138, Chu Blocka puts the pressure on and goes right to the back of the pack. Arch Rival showing that they understand the strategic part of women's flat track roller derby. They know when to hit you, they know when to recycle, they know when to pack it up. Windy City thus far has been able to simply dismantle them. They're very, very intense, and they're hitting extremely hard out there, and they're able to keep the pack, for the most part, in pink, a little bit separated so that they can't really get together for too long.
The Windy City Rollers cross the century mark, 101 to Arch Rival's 13 right now. We've got just over 3.5 minutes left to play in this first half of play.
This timeout has been called by Arch Rival right now, and we do want to thank Erie Insurance. Keeps you covered with seriously good insurance.
If you'd like to buy DVDs from this weekend's production from the WFTDA, you can buy the entire package for $200. You can buy every DVD for the entire weekend.
You know, that's something that we really haven't been able to do in the past. It's great to be able to hold a piece of history in your hand, and what better way to do that than through the fantastic work of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association, which is what you're watching right now.
And what you're watching right now is the Windy City Rollers taking on the Arch Rival Roller Girls. We see Varla Vendetta on the line for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
And that's going to be Mighty Mighty Boston for the Arch Rival Roller Girls in pink. Windy City in black. Varla Vendetta trying to make her way to the front of the pack, but she's having problems with Shimmy Hoffa. Shimmy Hoffa not giving up. Varla Vendetta backs off a little bit, gets some distance so she can make some things happen. But Arch Rival's pack in this jam has really tightened it down.
And got to give some credit to Bork at the front of the pack for the Windy City Roller All-Star. She's been holding off Mighty Mighty Boston. Now she's got some help from Hoosier Mama.
Varla Vendetta gets tripped up at the apex, has to go down. Now she's back at the back of the pack again. Mighty Mighty Boston does get taken to the infield by number 75, Bork.
May require stitches impressing me out there for Arch Rival, but Varla Vendetta gets through for lead jammer status for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
Yeah, May require stitches has been all over the track. She has been one of the smarter players and one of the better timed blockers out there. She knows how to place that hit, and no matter the size difference, she's going after everybody.
As a big hit placed by Bork of the Windy City Rollers, as Varla Vendetta now on a scoring pass.
Gets put down by the pivot line, quick to get back to her feet, and now she's in the mix again. Looks like she's going to try and go right through the middle. Varla Vendetta showing some patience. Whenever you're a jammer and you have a pack that can work for you, you have a group of blockers that are on your side, you can have some patience. Let things evolve, and you can take advantage whenever it's appropriate. And that's exactly what she's doing right now. And I have a feeling she's also doing a little bit of eating of the clock.
She is doing that, and she's scoring 5 points as well, as she was able to be patient and waited till the blockers got outside the engagement zone and pushed them forward and went past. As Varla Vendetta hits the pack once again, a collision on the home stretch, and that's going to end the jam on time, I believe.
Yes, sir, and we've got under 2 minutes to go in the first period, brought to you in part by Dr. Hauschka's Alchaid. Dr. Hauschka celebrates the fresh faces of the WFTDA. Stop by their booth or just check them out online. Dr. Hauschka, the official ouch aid of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association.
The fresh face of Dr. Hauschka is on the track right now for the Windy City Roller All-Stars. That's Sunshine and Painbows in the rainbow socks. A true rookie for the Windy City Roller All-Stars, blocking right now.
She does not play like one, that is for sure. Right when you start talking about her, she goes right after the jammer from arch rival. That's Downtown Dallas, who does squeak out of the pack and picks up lead jammer.
And Beth Amphetamine hot on her tail. Both jammers sprinting around the track. Beth Amphetamine looks like she has a smile on her face. As the pack reforms, it's moving along at a pretty good pace. Windy City trying to get their blockers towards the front. St. Louis trying to grab a goat, so Dallas can score a point. She gets past Yvette Yermaker. She's still going. She's going to rely on her defense.
While both jammers sliding through that, but it looks like Beth Amphetamine's going to pick up a major track cut, and that's going to make this a power jam advantage arch rival roller girls.
The gamble pays off for Downtown Dallas, as now she has no jammer to contend with, as Windy City's claimed the front of the pack. Downtown Dallas contending with them on their own. Now she's getting some help from the pivot. I believe that's Arta Mischief. Yes, it is.
Downtown Dallas having to chase the front four of Windy City Rollers. They've done this every time. This is simply how you treat a power jam situation. If you are still in play and you have the ability to run, then run like the wind and make that jammer chase you.
And Arta Mischief picked up and intentionally destroying the pack, but that did allow Downtown Dallas to clear the pack for 5 points for the arch rival Roller Girls.
Well, in this first half, we've seen a lot of fantastic gameplay. Arch rival showing some promise there in some of these jams in the first period. But Windy City looking to be the dominant wind in this weather system.
Windy City, they're basically controlling the front of the pack, not allowing St. Louis to grab any goats or runts, if you will.
Yeah, and let's talk about that a little bit. When you grab a goat, as we say, you will see a few blockers. Let's say Windy City, they're in black. They trap one of the skaters in pink and pull away. They control the pace of play, slow that pack down, and it makes it much easier on their own jammer to get through and pick up those points. It's all about control.
The pack definition is key in explaining this. The pack definition, the pack is where the majority of skaters from both teams are. So if they can grab a goat, they're claiming one skater from the other team and saying, this is where the pack is, we're slowing it down, this is the pack.
Yeah, if you're in control as a pack, then you can give your jammer control as well. Welcome back to the 2007 WFTDA North Central Region Playoff. My name's Dump Truck.
And I'm Bryant Mumble.
And we're about to bring you the second period of Windy City versus Arch Rival. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Dr. Hauschka, the Women's Flat Track Derby Association's official bruise healer. Lose the bruise with Dr. Hauschka's Ouch Aid.
As we are about to rejoin the action, the Windy City Rollers lead 111-18 coming into the second period of play here.
Yeah, they've dominated since the very first whistle blew. They're proving right now that they're the number one seed 3 years in a row for a reason. They don't plan on losing to anyone in the North Central region because that's not what they're accustomed to.
Now, anything short of a tournament victory, winning the entire championship, will be seen as a great disappointment for the Windy City Roller All-Stars. And I think there are other teams here that think they could win the championship here as well. I should say, to win this playoff tournament as well.
There are some very, very tough teams. We've already seen what Minnesota can do. They took out Mad Roland Dolls earlier today. 218-81 was the outcome of that. The game following this one will be a great one as well. Detroit Derby Girls, very familiar with the Bruise City Bruisers, and that is going to be number 7 versus the number 2 seed.
And the final match tonight will be between the Naptown Roller Girls, the host of this playoff tournament, and the Cincinnati Roller Girls, the Black Sheep.
Hey, that's a game that a lot of people are anticipating to watch. You've got a lot of people saying Cincy's coming out with it. You got a lot of people screaming for the home team of the Naptown Roller Girls from here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And in my opinion, those are all the toughest teams here at the North Central region. You got Bruise City, Detroit, Minnesota, Naptown, Windy City, Cincinnati. That's where the bulk of the talent's going to be. But right now, it looks like period 2 has begun.
And Downtown Dallas has entered the pack on a power jam here.
That's right, Windy City down one blocker. That would be Jackie Daniels and Bethamphetamine in the box, who is now on her feet. When you see someone in the penalty box get on their feet, that means they have 10 seconds or less to serve in the penalty box. Right now, downtown Dallas trying to get around that front three wall of Windy City Rollers, and they are trying to keep things fast, which allowed for Bethamphetamine to get out of the pack, Mumbles.
She got out of the penalty box, but now she's in the pack as we have a lead jammer for St. Louis. That is downtown Dallas.
Downtown Dallas is going to be your lead jammer. They struggled in the first period to get their first lead jammer status, but that's how they start off here in the second period of this game.
Nice block a few seconds ago by Chu Blaka, holding up Bethamphetamine a few more seconds. Gives downtown Dallas a chance to hit the pack now on a scoring pass. She gets a whip from May Require Stitches.
You need to make sure you watch number 282, May Require Stitches. She's a very great offensive blocker, and she's also got a defensive mind as well. She truly does keep her head on a swivel and knows how to play both sides of the bench.
And a few points there, 3 points, I believe, for St. Louis, if my eyes don't deceive me. Or there's 2 points.
2 unanswered points for the ladies in pink, arch rival Roller Girls hailing from St. Louis, Missouri.
And they are against the Windy City Roller All-Stars hailing from Chicago, Illinois. And Varla Vendetta takes the line for them in this next jam. She's up against Black Market Baby for the team in pink. And we're underway.
And it looks like it's going to be 4-on-4 in the pack, 2-on-2 on the jammer. No, excuse me, 3-on-4. It looks like arch rival is down one blocker.
Varla Vendetta gets through for lead jammer status. Yvette Yermaker and Jackie Daniels holding off Black Market Baby, a minor multiplayer block during that, I believe.
Black Market Baby does get through the pack. She's not your lead jammer. That is owned by Varla Vendetta, and what that does is give you the ability to call off the jam at any time. When you're lead jammer, you can control that clock, call off the jam by touching your hips, and it looks like that's what she's going to do just after she picks up 4 points for the Windy City Rollers.
She gets every point for passing each blocker in the pack. Once her hips pass the hips of the opposing blocker, it's a point.
Jamming for arch rival in pink, South City Shiner, number 24.
And she's against number 30, Athena de Crime for the Windy City Roller All-Stars. And the jam has begun. However, the jammers will not be released until there is no pack, and there is no pack there. Or they cross the yellow line in this case.
Yeah, once they get across that pivot line, then they go ahead and blow that other whistle. And arch rival was trying to eat up the penalty time, which has worked in their favor, as now they have a full complement of blockers on the track. Slayer moves her way to the front of the pack, tries to make way for South City Shiner, now at the front of the pack, and she gets through as lead jammer.
So nice work there by St. Louis to get their jammer through for lead jammer. Nice 3-wall at the back of the pack, holding off Athena de Crime.
Windy City down another blocker as Toreador goes to the penalty box. And it looks like South City Shiner is going to try to go to the outside. But, you know, Athena de Crime knows how to play defense when she jams as well and tries to slow things down a bit. But it's not enough to keep South City Shiner from picking up all 5 points. That's a grand slam for the arch rival Roller Girls.
And she's going to keep going and try to get some more points here as St. Louis is trying to grab a goat. They're trying to slow down Georgia on your behind. And coming out of the penalty box is Old Dirty Go-Go. So South City Shiner hits the pack. And Athena de Crime scoring points as well. South City Shiner trying to rely on her defense, but Athena gets through. That's a 4 points for Athena de Crime.
South City Shiner hoping to get out of the pack so she can call off this jam with a points advantage. She's got to get around Old Dirty Go-Go, which is not easy to do, as she puts her out of bounds and forces her to call off the jam, picking up only 3 points on that last pass for a total of 8. So that's 8-4. Advantage in that jam going to arch rival.
Arch rival getting a little something going here at the end of the last half of play, and they're getting something going here at the beginning of this period of play.
That's right. It's 119 Windy City, 28 arch rival. We got 25 minutes, 29 seconds to go in this final period of regulation.
Next we see Wreckin' Shrew on the line for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
And that's going to be downtown Dallas, making her move on the outside, turning up the heat, trying to get by. She does. That's going to be lead jammer. Downtown Dallas.
The momentum has shifted a little bit here in favor of St. Louis, as they now have a 2-wall, now down to 1 wall. That's May Require Stitches holding off Wreckin' Shrew at the front of the pack. She rides her out of bounds, but she goes out of bounds herself. Wreckin' Shrew not able to stay up, though.
Downtown Dallas hits the back of the pack, having some problems getting around the Windy City rear 3 wall. She's trying to get some points here. Going to the outside to turn 2. Now she's going right down the middle, and she's got to go toe-to-toe with Yvette Yermaker, and she's able to take advantage there as she gets through, and that's another 4 points for the arch rival Roller Girls.
Wrecking Shrew got out of the pack, and Downtown Dallas trying to catch up to her here. Let's see how Downtown Dallas plays this. She will likely call it off. We'll see. Although St. Louis may be relying on their defense a little bit more as they need points. Looks like that's what she's going to do. She's going to rely on her defense. But Wrecking Shrew able to get through on a scoring pass. Downtown Dallas now on her second scoring pass.
Downtown Dallas trying to make it out. She does. And she's going to grab 4 more points for the ladies in pink from St. Louis, Missouri.
So it's 8-4 in this jam as Sargentina goes to the penalty box for the Windy City Rollers in black.
And Wrecking Shrew in black for Windy City, jamming as she gets to the back of the pack. Swoops right to the outside of turn 1, gets through, and she's going to pick up some points of her own. Count them, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be 4.
So that's 8-8 in this jam right now as Downtown Dallas on her third scoring pass. She's able to get through the pack, and she does call it off there. So it's going to be, looks like 3 more. So that's going to be an 11-8 jam. St. Louis trying to rely on their defense to get a little, narrow this gap a little bit here.
We've got 23 minutes, 18 seconds to go in this final period. And arch rival, as you were saying earlier, has some momentum on their side. They finished looking pretty strong there at the first period, and they come out hot, getting the first couple of lead jammer statuses, and now they're starting to build on the points that they've been able to accrue over time.
Now we see all the blockers coming back towards the jammer line to start the jam, but they do start it right away with some skaters on a knee. As we see Black Market Baby working her way towards the front of the pack for St. Louis.
She's trying to get around Georgia Onior behind. Now she's going against Who's Your Mama, popping to the inside, pop to the outside, trying to pull her to one way or the other. She's like, come on, let me by. She gets through. Lead jammer is going to be Black Market Baby.
Nice blocking at the back of the pack by Shimmy Hoffa, holding off Beth Amphetamine. And Beth Amphetamine's possibly getting through. Can she get around, make the turn? She can. She will clear on her initial pass, but here comes Black Market Baby for St. Louis now.
See, now it looks like Arch Rival getting into a lot of penalty trouble as that box fills up. 2 blockers in the box, one of them just now getting released to rejoin the action, and it's going to be 2-on-2 in the pack.
Windy City has claimed the front of the pack, and St. Louis trying to break up that 2 wall of Georgia Onior behind and Who's Your Mama. And Chewblaka rides Georgia Onior behind to the inside. And Black Market Baby calls it off. Did she get her hips by? She did. 4 points.
Nice work there by Arch Rival, doing everything they can. You saw Chewblaka with illegal use of forearms gets called to the penalty box right towards the end of that jam. Arch Rival knows that they've got to do everything in their power to continue to add points to the board. And right now they've got 43 beneath Windy City's 127 with 21 minutes, 38 seconds to go.
Looks like we have a timeout here.
We do want to thank Five Strides Skate Shop, the preferred skate shop of Bonnie Thunders, Deranged, Psychobabble, Susie Hot Rod, and Teflon Donna.
Make sure you get your DVDs for this tournament. You can buy an individual bout for $15, or you can buy the whole pack for $200.
Thanks to the following tournament partners for making this North Central Region playoff happen. Derby Skins, Papa Row, Sin City Skates, TICSkateGear.com, Vanilla Skates, and PDA. The officials are calling it, getting the skaters to take over the track. Magnum PIMP, one of the coaches there for Arch Rival, giving some last-minute instruction to South City Shiner, who has taken the Jammer Star for Arch Rival, who is in pink. Windy City, again, is in black.
Varla Vendetta is the jammer in black right now, as the Windy City Rollers all take a knee as the jam begins.
Now, whenever you take a knee, it is a no-pack situation, which means you are forced to make forward motion. Starting the jam off hot from the first whistle, it looks like Varla Vendetta is going to take advantage and pick up lead jammer.
This pack moving along at a very quick pace right now as Windy City trying to stay in front of St. Louis's jammer, South City Shiner. And they've got all their blockers towards the front of the pack.
Arch Rivals bench starting to unload as they continue to get reinforcements on the track.
And Varla Vendetta gets through for a grand slam as it is 3-on-2 in the pack in favor of Windy City. Old Dirty Go-Go at the front of the pack, the last line of defense for Windy City, holding off South City Shiner. Varla Vendetta gets right through the pack again. 5 more points, 10 points so far in this jam for Varla Vendetta.
Varla Vendetta trying to shut down the defense from Arch Rival, whose squad has been quite successful compared to the first period. Varla now at the back of the pack, finds absolutely zero opposition down the middle and takes the inside line in turn 3 to pick up 5 more points for the Windy City Rollers.
She's looking at 15 so far as Windy City still holding off the South City Shiner. Jackie Daniels now contending with her. Get some help from Yvette, your maker. And once again, Art of Mischief now the last line of defense for St. Louis. Varla Vendetta able to get past her on her 4th scoring pass, 20, if my math is correct.
Math is hard, but I do think you are correct, sir. 20 points for the Windy City Rollers, and they still got 15 seconds to go in this jam unless she decides to call it off.
South City Shiner finally clears the pack as Varla Vendetta approaches now on her 5th scoring pass.
Boy, watch Varla as she gets to the pack and starts to draft her own blockers. She does go down at the apex, and it looks like we are going to have a timeout called as she is down on the track, but only for a few moments. She's good to go, back on her feet.
I believe it's 3 more points there for the Windy City Rollers. 23-point jam for Varla Vendetta. I believe that's the largest of this bout, I do believe.
Make sure you check out rollergirlskates.com. If you end up going to one of the local events, you can stop by their booth and find Trigger Mortis. If not, rollergirlskates.com is where to find all the necessary equipment to be a part of the roller derby community.
Official timeout called on the track as Reverend Riot. I believe, is he going by his real name now? Matthew. I'll just call him Reverend Riot. We'll just go with that.
I'll buy that for $1.
As the referees discuss what is happening here.
One of the great advantages of the Big Five this year is having a dedicated official to the mouths translating the action on the track, making sure things are clear and sound and we can explain exactly what's happening.
Wow, that's an interesting one.
It was snack time on the track, and there were literally crumbs that were found out there. So they had to clean up the cheese crackers and get back to some roller derby.
Cupcakes are a big part of roller derby, I've discovered over the years.
You're a cupcake. Cupcakes. Looks like jamming for Arch Rival once this thing gets going is going to be May Require Stitches, number 282.
I believe this is the first time today she will take the jammer star. This is the second game for St. Louis today. I got to say, down the home stretch when they played the outfit in the very last jam, she was a wall in the very last jam. Outfit had a power jam going, and they needed 8 points to win, and it was May Require Stitches sitting on the Outfit's jammer.
You know, you don't have to make a huge hit to be a successful blocker in roller derby. Simply being in their way and using positional blocking and your lateral movement to your advantage can make you unbelievably effective. Of course, you'd rather have a teammate to work with, but if you don't, you got to work with the tools that you have in your pocket, and she's got some great skill on her feet. I do know that Arch Rival tends to train with the Gatekeepers, the MRDA Men's League, and that has to be a great advantage there. And I talked to those guys, and they said the only reason they're half as good as roller derby as they are now is because they skate with Arch Rival. So there's a lot of inner city love there where they help each other out, and I do believe that Magnum PIMP is one of those skaters from the Gatekeepers.
I do believe you are correct, sir. If you'd like to see the earlier bouts from today and the rest of the weekend, if you upgrade to the high-quality stream, you get the archive of the entire weekend for 90 days. So make sure you do that for $20. Upgrade to the high-quality feed. And go ahead.
I've heard from quite a few from leagues. I've been able to go to the West Region playoffs, the South Central playoffs, and now North Central. And most of these leagues have purchased that feed. And tonight they will be watching footage so they can see how to take apart their opponents tomorrow afternoon to hopefully continue in the hunt for the North Central Region 1, 2, and 3 seed, which will take them to Denver, Colorado for the Women's Flat Track Derby Association Championship Tournament.
Which, of course, we are all very excited for, happening next month in Denver, Colorado. And the Rocky Mountain Roller Girls, the defending WFTDA champions, will be there. Then they were the 2 seed out of the West. We have Oli, the 2009 WFTDA champions. They're the 1 seed. And the new kids on the block, Rose City, so far the only new kids on the block. I believe every other team has been there. They were there last year, except for Rose City. Very excited to see them. We'll see what happens this weekend. I think we're anticipating a new team in the championship tournament.
That's one of my favorite things about region playoffs is the drama that unfolds one left turn at a time. You can have all the predictions you want, but when it comes down to it, you're looking at the proving grounds right here.
And the proving grounds are back in action right now as we see May Require Stitches jamming for the first time today.
Tries to juke to the inside. Decides to be dedicated to the out, and boy, you just watch the control she has on her feet. If she wants to speed up, she can. She's got the hockey stopping down as well. It looks like she's going to be your lead jammer for Arch Rival.
So here she comes. She's got a little momentum here for St. Louis as Windy City loses a blocker Carmageddon to a penalty. And a quick 5-point grand slam. Very quickly done for St. Louis. The quickest done so far, I believe.
Yeah, you know, when you see someone that's this capable at the jammer position, you almost hope to see more of it. Wow, she gets shut down to the outside lane, and the inside is left unattended. She takes advantage of that, and it's a grand slam for the Arch Rival Roller Girls.
And no one's cut through the pack on Windy City so far in this bout quite the way May Require Stitches is right now. Now on her third scoring pass, trying to get past Georgia on your behind. She does.
Ducks right to the inside line, picks up another 5-10 points so far for Arch Rival. Here comes Varla Vendetta. She re-enters the action and now exits the pack almost simultaneously. May Require Stitches now at the back of the pack, which is at almost a complete halt. Gets to the pack, picks up points. Was she able to call it off in time? No. She does pick up 5, but mumbles it looks like Varla Vendetta able to pick up 3 of her own.
Very quick skating for Varla Vendetta. Quicker than many folk out there.
14-point jam there for Arch Rival. They got to feel good about that as they now have 62 points underneath Windy City still with 153. And we've got 17 minutes, 25 seconds to go.
But some definite positive action here for St. Louis as Mighty Mighty Boston takes the line for the ladies in pink. And she's up against Athena the Crime for Windy City in black. And look at there. We've got a lead jammer. It is Mighty Mighty Boston.
I don't know what's been going on that bench and in their heads, but Arch Rival is right back in this game mentally and physically. They're playing one hell of a game of roller derby, and it is looking good for the ladies of St. Louis.
And a nice block there from Party Foul. It took me a second. Sorry about that.
Athena the Crime finds the outside line, and she's out of the pack on her initial pass. Looks like Mighty Mighty Boston now through on a scoring pass. She is your lead jammer, and she picks up 4 points there for Arch Rival and calls off the jam.
The momentum continues here for Arch Rival, slowly narrowing the gap.
There's Arch Rival's bench, calm, cool, and collected. You see both downtown Dallas there alongside Bethamphetamine, having a nice little conversation. You got to like the camaraderie you see in this sport. Sportswomanship is very, very obvious in Women's Flat Track Derby Association. I know that's a big thing on the WFTDA's agenda. We can play tough, but we also need to respect each other when we're out there on the track.
And Bethamphetamine trying to get things back on track for Windy City. She pushes the blockers outside the engagement zone, gets lead jammer status for the Windy City Roller All-Stars.
Bethamphetamine never slows down. She's always picking up the pace when she's on the track, and that's how she gets to the back of the pack, picking up 1, 2, 3 points, and 4 as Smarty McFly is in the penalty box.
So Bethamphetamine calls off the jam there. 4 more points for Windy City. Back on track for them as we line them up again.
You let Bethamphetamine get out of the pack quick like that, you had to be prepared to run like the Dickens. She's very, 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 very fast and able to catch up with just about any pack out there. She gets out of the pack, it's time for Pink to run.
On the jammer line for Windy City, we see the Dr. Hauschka Fresh Face. That is Sunshine and Painbows jamming for the first time today.
She's going to start the outside line of the front stretch. And it looks like Black Market Baby jamming for Arch Rival stuck at the back of the pack, while Sunshine and Painbows gets a little push through there from Jackie Daniels and becomes lead jammer.
And Carmageddon should get credit there for a jammer takedown in the pack for Windy City. As here comes Sunshine and Painbows now on her scoring pass.
Black Market Baby trying to get around to Vet Your Maker, and she's met by Old Dirty Go-Go, who puts her to the infield hard.
The pack moving along kind of slowly, but picking up the pace as Sunshine and Painbows gets through with a nice assist from Jackie Daniels. 5-point grand slam for Windy City in black.
Windy City starting to pick up the pace again. Looks like the momentum swing is starting to swing over as a pendulum. Windy with unopposed points, and it looks like Black Market Baby now out of the pack. You can only expect that Sunshine and Painbows is going to pick up as many points as she can and call off the jam, and she does.
2 more points for Sunshine and Painbows, the rookie, bringing the total to 164 to 66, with just under 14 minutes left to play in this quarterfinal matchup.
The clock is starting to wind down there, Mumbles, and Windy City is not turning their intensity level down at all, and Arch Rival is definitely turning theirs up.
We see Varla Vendetta on the line for Windy City and may require stitches in her second jam. She had a huge one her first time out. Here she is again, contending with Who's Your Mama at the front of the pack.
She's looking to get an assist there from Slayer with some offensive blocking there, and now she gets out. May require stitches is your lead jammer for Arch Rival. Varla Vendetta looking to get out of the pack. She's got to get around Slayer. Trying to make a little bit of guesswork there. Wait for it, and Slayer goes down, opening it up for Varla Vendetta. Gets bumped out of bounds, but she does not have to be recycled there.
As Artemis Schiff went down as well. So, but here comes May require stitches now on a scoring pass. And she gets tangled up. She's going to keep going. Here comes Varla Vendetta. Now racking up some points. May require stitches calls it off. But 3 points for Varla Vendetta. That happened last time. May require stitches jammed as well.
Yeah, May require stitches. Was trying to get through that pack and it kept having to be stopped as there was like one skater would go down right in front of her. She'd get around. There's another skater end up going down right in front of her. So positional blocking doesn't have to be on 8 wheels.
Not necessarily.
167 for Windy City. Arch Rival now with 70 points. We've got 12 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this final period of the Windy City Rollers versus the Arch Rival Roller Girls.
And Athena de Crime is the jammer for the Windy City Roller All-Stars in black. And she's contending with Downtown Dallas, the jammer for Arch Rival in pink.
Downtown Dallas trying to make her way through, but gets put to the inside. Athena de Crime now goes to the outside of turn 4. Trying to go right down the middle of the straightaway, but she is finding some opposition there in pink from Arch Rival.
Here comes Downtown Dallas now at a crack at the front of the pack. She's contending with Yvette Your Maker, Old Dirty Go-Go, trying to get in on the mix as well. And here comes Athena de Crime. She found some room. Lead jammer status.
All of the Arch Rival squad was focused, and they were trying to assist their jammer getting through. The inside line left unattained, unopposed, and unguarded.
Downtown Dallas able to clear on her initial pass, trying to limit the damage being done right now by Athena de Crime. Athena de Crime has 2 blockers to beat at the front of the pack. One of those, I believe, is Smarty McFly. And that's going to end the jam there. 2 more points. The 2-all from St. Louis holds. As we will line them up again, all the blockers, they look like they want to be the jammer. All the blockers want to be jammers too, so they want to get as close to the jammer line as they can.
Well, you know, whenever you start using the chicken brick strategy like that, you can gain a really, really big advantage of forcing the opposing jammer to truly fight to get through and or around that back wall. What they do here is just simply take a knee, no pack situation, forces forward momentum.
Beth Amphetamine doesn't have much trouble, gets through. Lead jammer status for Beth Amphetamine.
Wow, we were talking about how fast she is earlier. You finished saying her name twice. She's already picking up her first points of this jam, but she does get some pressure and is pushed to the inside by Chublaka. Chublaka trying to keep up with her, not able to do so as Beth Amphetamine is now trying to get around the final line of defense for Arch Rival.
Looks like Beth Amphetamine's really having fun out there. I definitely believe she is having fun out there.
You can see her shake her head around as people cheer as she gets out of the pack.
And a lot of room on the inside. Big hole in the inside for Beth Amphetamine, able to get through the pack. And looking back, she's going to call it off. A little confusion there. She's now questioning herself as she had a grand slam, as I believe the South City Shiner was still on her initial pass. But the lead quite comfortable right here for Windy City. So she probably won't beat herself up too much as Varla Vendetta now takes the line for Windy City. Should be contending with Black Market Baby. One blocker down for Windy City. So 4-3 in the pack.
See some early direction there from Old Dirty Go-Go. Point to the outside, directing Varla Vendetta to that section. She attempts to get through, but she does get pushed out of bounds in the front stretch.
Got to give some credit to Stabby McClutchet with a nice block, but Varla Vendetta sticks with it and gets through for lead jammer status.
Black Market Baby trying to get through that front two wall of black and silver. Windy City's blockers are relentless. They're not going to give you anything. You're going to have to take it from them. That's exactly what Black Market Baby is trying to do, but Old Dirty Go-Go putting her out of bounds in turn 3.
And that's going to be a cutting minor on Black Market Baby as Old Dirty Go-Go stopped and Black Market Baby cut in front of her. And pile up in turn 2.
Looks like a yard sale out there.
And Varla Vendetta able to push the blockers outside the engagement zone. She gets through on her scoring pass. That's a grand slam.
Pack moving at a pretty moderate pace right now. Arch Rival trying to keep things tight, but it looks like Old Dirty Go-Go able to implement the isolation play or trapping the goat against Shimmy Hoffa.
And Varla Vendetta's looking back. She kills as much time as she can before Black Market Baby catches the pack and then calls it off before Black Market Baby does catch the pack.
We've got 7 minutes, 52 seconds to go in this final period. Windy City with 187. Arch Rival with 70 points now. Windy City starting to lock it down once again. Early in the second period, we did see Arch Rival really pick up the momentum and be very, very successful by utilizing a couple of different jammers they haven't used before and really hammering down on their pack play. On the jammer line for Arch Rival is going to be Downtown Dallas.
And she will be against the Dr. Hauschka Fresh Face. I have trouble saying that. Dr. Hauschka Fresh Face.
You don't say.
Sunshine and Painbows.
Yes. It's nice. It's beautiful.
I am from Chicago.
The jammers are finally released from the jam line. Downtown Dallas looks to go to the outside. Makes her way to the front of the pack, and the gate is opened up wide. Nice move there from number 520 from Arch Rival. That's going to be Eli Wallop.
And I cannot talk anymore. Sunshine and Painbows. Still stuck in the pack. It's taken out by Chu Blaka. Nice block by Chu Blaka.
Downtown Dallas looking to go the outside again. It worked for her last time. Will it work for her this time? This time she does have to get by Who's Your Mama, who seems to be all over Downtown Dallas, Mumbles.
Not an easy task getting past her as Yvette Your Maker comes in and sweeps out Downtown Dallas as Sunshine and Painbows clears the pack on her initial pass.
Windy City owning the front. At the end of that jam, you had nothing but pink there in the back. 6 minutes now, 9 seconds to go in the final period of this game.
Jackie Daniels is going to take the jammer line for the first time today. And she will be up against May Require Stitches in her third time wearing the jammer star. Had some pretty good success so far, as all the blockers want to be jammers. We're underway again.
Boy, Jackie Daniels gets to the front of the pack extremely quickly off the line. Now she's at the outside of turn 2. Does get pushed out of bounds. Looks like that was by Art of Mischief.
May Require Stitches gets ridden out of bounds by Georgia on your behind. And we got a lead jammer for Windy City. That's Jackie Daniels.
Just after one lap, Jackie Daniels able to get out of the pack as she exits turn 1. Now it looks like May Require Stitches trying to get around Varla Vendetta and Carmen Gooden.
Varla Vendetta trying to hold that line, not able to do so. May require stitches, gets through. But we look back at the pack. Jackie Daniels now on a scoring pass.
Well, she does get bumped out of bounds and has to be recycled. And here comes May require stitches. Jackie Daniels sees her, calls off the jam.
1 point there for Jackie Daniels. So nice defense there on that pass for Arch Rival, limiting the damage.
That brings us to 4 minutes and 43 seconds to go in this second period. If you're just now joining us, this broadcast is brought to you by the Women's Flat Track Derby Association, and you're watching it on WFTDA.com.
We're going to see Athena the Crime now jam for Windy City up against Mighty Mighty Boston.
Mighty Mighty Boston goes to the outside. That seems to be where Arch Rival wants to go here in the second period, at least in these last few jams. And it's working for him, as lead jammer is going to be from Arch Rival, Mighty Mighty Boston.
So Athena the Crime still on her initial pass, getting held up in the pack by St. Louis. That's Chu Blocka trying to sit on her at the front of the pack as Mighty Mighty Boston scoring points now. One blocker to beat Hoosier Mama at the front. And outside the engagement zone, she gets the point. And she calls off the jam as Athena the Crime has cleared the pack as well. So 5-point grand slam for Arch Rival coming down the home stretch.
And it's pretty safe to say that Windy City will continue on for the hunt of the number 1 or number 2 seed here at North Central Region Playoffs. They look to be playing the winner of the last game of the day, which will be at 7:30. Hometown team, Naptown Roller Girls versus the Cincinnati Roller Girls. Make sure you stick around for that. It will be intense.
7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Methamphetamine jamming for WCR. And downtown Dallas for Arch Rival. Methamphetamine out of the pack as the lead jammer. Downtown Dallas looking to get through herself. Shimmy Hoffa throwing an offensive block out there, but now downtown Dallas hops, skips, jumps, and she's still behind the Windy City front two wall.
It is true right now as Methamphetamine now is going to the penalty box. Go ahead.
That's going to make this a power jam. Advantage goes to Arch Rival as downtown Dallas gets out of the pack. This will go a full 2 minutes as downtown Dallas is not your lead jammer. And Methamphetamine took a trip to the box, taking that status away.
So here comes downtown Dallas again. She's got some room, but she gets ridden out of bounds. Cutting the track, she's going to the penalty box. She came back in bounds. So we're going to get a jammer swap. Downtown Dallas is going to take a seat. Methamphetamine is going to be released, and downtown Dallas will serve the same amount of time that Methamphetamine just served. And this jam will also go the full 2 minutes as there is no lead jammer now. I believe this is a scoring pass here for Methamphetamine. We will see if I'm correct.
You are correct, sir. 5 points there for the Windy City Rollers by Methamphetamine.
3-2 in the pack. The pack moving along fairly slowly, allowing Methamphetamine to catch on up. Nice positional block by Arta Mischief, riding Methamphetamine out of bounds.
Staying with her, too. No matter where Methamphetamine was going to re-enter that track, Arta Mischief was keeping her eye on the prize, and it looks like downtown Dallas back in the mix. She's out of the pack, and that is considered her initial pass.
Time winding down in this jam. Both jammers can score here. We'll see what they can do. Time running out. 1 more point for Windy City, 0 for St. Louis. As we're coming down, this will likely be the last jam of this matchup between the 1 seed Windy City Roller All-Stars and the 8 seed Arch Rival Roller Girl All-Stars. And it's going to go to Jackie Daniels. Actually, we're going to get a last-second jammer swap. They're going to get Sunshine and Painbow as the jammer star. Oh, timeout called.
Looks like we're going to be in the middle of a timeout as both coaches out there, Justice Feelgood Marshall and Magnum PIMP, are in the infield talking to the officials. Getting some sort of clarification. When we know, so will you.
Things are getting cleared up now. We're about ready to go here in this last jam. Dump truck, what happened out there?
Well, they were contesting that the jammer from Windy City was on her scoring pass. She was not. It was considered her initial pass. So the call stands, and we're back on the track, Mumbles.
And in this possibly last jam, we got a lead jammer. It may require stitches for St. Louis. We'll see how she plays this, as Arch Rival still has one timeout left.
And 20 seconds to go in this final jam. Athena DeCrime finds an inside line. She is now out of the pack. May require stitches, looking to pick up some points here, as she's starting to move her way to the front of the pack. Now she's going around to turn 2, trying to find an outside line. It's shut down, but the inside is left wide open. She's still unable to exploit that.
Georgia on your behind was able, with good lateral movement, was able to move back to the inside and cut her off. The period clock has expired, so this will be the last jam now.
When that jam clock comes to all zeros, or may require stitches calls off the jam, that will be the end of this game. May require stitches at the front, hoping to get some separation, but you see Windy City starting to string themselves out because they want to stay within the field of play. That way they don't have to let May require stitches go.
Athena DeCrime clears on a scoring pass, 4 points. Looks like I think Mayor Stitches lost her cap. She did, but she calls off the jam. And 3 more points.
Well, without the helmet cover on, you're not supposed to be able to call off the jam, but that happened anyhow. 3 points there awarded to the Windy City Rollers.
And that is the unofficial final. The Windy City Rollers 197 to Arch Rival 82. The Windy City Rollers will advance and play the winner of Naptown Roller Girls versus Cincinnati Roller Girls.
And you're watching the 2011 WFTDA North Central Region Playoff on WFTDA.com, brought to you in part by Dr. Hauschka, the WFTDA's official bruise healer. Lose the bruise with Dr. Hauschka's Ouch Aid. Elemental Technologies, the world's most powerful video processing solutions. Adam Wheels, the official wheel of the WFTDA. And Rydell Skates, proud partner and the official skate of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association.
Looks like we had a score update there. 200 points for Windy City Rollers, 282 for Arch Rival.
We're live on WFTDA.com. Windy City handily defeats Arch Rival 200-82. I'm here with Varla Vendetta. You had a heck of a day today. And it looked like to me you just kind of wore Arch Rival out. You knew they had played early this morning. They were the first bout, and they looked like they were a little bit tired. What are your thoughts?
I mean, there's like no denying that I don't care how fit a team you are. If you have like 2 teams or 2 games in one day, it's tough, you know, and like all the credit to them because this was not that long after they played their other bout. And I think they did excellent. They have some great jammers. They have some really precise hitters that we had noticed in that first game that they did an excellent job. So.
You mentioned precise hitting. One of the things I noticed about your pack is you would let Arch Rival through and then your pack would lock up. Talk a little bit about the strategy in that.
I cannot. I'm sworn to secrecy. No, I mean, I think that, sometimes it just works out that it's not, it might be not worth going for a risky block or, being desperate about a block when you can try and lock it up on the next round, like collect yourself and get it on the back end of coming around on a pass.
Who are you most looking forward to playing now that you're going to move on?
Everyone. I mean, this has probably been our most active year in the North Central. Like we played a lot of the North Central teams this year, that more than we have in past years. So, we look forward to everybody. I think we played Detroit twice this year, and those have always been really intense matchups. Like we're looking forward to see what Naptown and Minnesota have done because we haven't seen much of them in the last part of this year. So we're excited about everything. We're just happy to be here.
Talk about the depth of your roster. I saw a lot of girls doing a lot of everything. How has that helped you guys, particularly the All-Star team, in this past season?
I think it's transitioned a little bit because we've had more girls diversify, and it's helpful for everybody because sometimes a certain game is suited to one person over another. So.
All right, again, speaking with Varla Vendetta with the Windy City Rollers, who handily defeated Arch Rival 200-82. I'm Peyton Slamming right here on WFTDA.com.